Okay, Shalom, Shalom is the brother Kadash. Want to start off by giving our praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Kadash. Though honors to the apostles and elders, peace, blessings, honors to all the brothers in this truth. This is going to be called Will She Be Submissive? So, this young lady, she's going to, me saying this young lady is funny, but this young lady, she's going to give her opinion on a couple things, and I'm kind of on the fence here, I'm kind of, there's some light in some of the things she's saying. And then there's some darkness in some of the things she's saying. So we're going to just go through it and break down, this in a biblical way.
Could you put up with him not being there financially?
No. Because I'm going to try your ego.
But
Unfortunately,
you
no.
couldn't be the. What you mean you gonna try a nigga ego?
I'm going to bitch you. You want me to respect you as a man? No. No, I cannot be submissive. You have to pay for shit for me to be submissive. And I had that problem for years. I was not submissive. I did not listen. There was always an ego power trip, like headbutting, because I'm like, who are you to me?
Now we gotta break this down. So I'm gonna play it and then I'm gonna give you a little breakdown. Now, see, gender roles are there for a reason. Women's not supposed to wear, pants that pertain to a man. The same thing, men not supposed to put on women clothing. The woman have a job to do and the man have a job to do. And that's how it's supposed to be. But I kind of feel what she's saying because it's like, you got to come in that way. So many times I see brothers, get their wives or whatever, and you kind of mind your business, you stay out of it, you know what I mean? But just from, seeing things, and experience, I see a lot of brothers get into relationships and they're kind of simps. They let their women run over them. They let their women, they the ones that's, doing the chores around the house, washing the dishes, cleaning, cooking and stuff like that. And a woman, she's kind of very selfish, and then if she don't get her way, she just whines about it, and that makes a lot of men fold. And the Bible says, give not thy strength to a woman. You see what I'm saying? Then man want to please a woman, so they go out and get them nice things, and then they become simps pretty much, and they don't even know it. You know what I mean? And a woman kind of have that control over them. I see that a lot. But at the same time, like she said, you got to come in. If you want to get respect from a woman, you have to come in the relationship demanding respect. You have to come in the relationship letting her know, I'm wearing the pants, I'm the boss here, because this is my ship. You're a passenger on the ship, right? If the ship go down, I mean, what happens? We all know the captain dies and go down with the ship, right? If my ship go down, I die with the ship, I go down with the ship. You could hop off the ship onto a fucking lifeboat, right? And then go to another ship. Just like same going to another dude's. Now you on his ship. That's the difference between man and female. I gotta go down with the ship because I am the ship. You're on my ship. You see what I'm saying? So the captain has the power on the ship. So let's let her keep playing. But then at the same time, she's supposed to be submissive regardless. If you get with a man, right, and you allow him to pop you, or he takes you to be a wife, has sex with you, because marriage is sex in the Bible. Who was that? Isaac took Rebecca into his mother Sarah's tent and she became his wife. How did she become his wife? They didn't go in the tent and have a ceremony. He didn't pull out a ring in the tent. He popped her. He had sex with her. He went into her, and then she became his wife. So that proves that. But in a biblical way. Some people always ask, are you married or whatever? It's a weird question, when you understand the truth. You kind of be like, then you know where they coming from. But let's continue what she's saying. But once that man become your husband, it don't matter if he gets down on his luck, if he don't have nothing. As long as he could take care of your basic needs to survive, he ain't got to go get you a Lamb truck, a Bentley truck. As long as he could take care of your basic needs to survive, then he should be respected and you should submit to him.
A lot of guys, I feel like, mess up with that first dinner, that first interaction. You're not stepping to me as a confident man, so I can't respect you as a man. Whereas if that first interaction, you're like, no, I don't play that shit, I'm not going to push it. I see already I cannot play with you. I cannot try it. So I don't push it.
And that's what I like about her. That's why I ain't going that hard on her. That's what I like about her, because she's admitting that. She's telling you got to come in to the relationship with your foot down as a man. You know what I mean? You got to come in. You got to be an austere man. You got to be a, you got to come in, that way. You got to come in knowing your role as a man. And then she would naturally submit to you. And that's what she's saying, and that's why I like her.
I'm now in a submissive position, so it allows me to be more feminine and relax.
Now, like that. Now, this is here. Let me go back. This is Ephesians chapter 5. Just breaking it down, just in case you didn't know. It's verse 22. It says, well, verse 21 says, submitting yourselves to one another in the fear of God, right? In the fear of God. So the fear of God, is keeping his law, statutes, commandments. What's that? Ecclesiastes 12, fear God and keep his commandments, right? So what is his commandments? Well, 1 Corinthians 11 tells you the order, but it tells you it right here too. Verse 22, it says, wives, submit yourself into your own husbands as into the Lord, right? So a woman take that and say, look, a man can only have one wife. No, you got to submit yourself to your own husband, because you can't submit yourself to somebody else's husband, a different husband than your husband, because then that would be adultery. That would mean that you would be sleeping around with another man. That would be adultery. This is the true way to break down the Bible, because this is in Old English and a lot of people can't understand it. Verse 23, it says, for the husband is the head of the wife, even as a Mashiach is the head of the church, and he is the savior of the body. And long as you understand that, the same relationship we got with the Lord being over us is the way that your man is over you. Because what does the word husband mean? If you go to the definition of husband, if you go to the definition of wife, the definition of wife would be a woman with a husband, or a married woman. Now, the definition of a husband means the head of the household. That's why it says the husband is the head of the wife. The head of the household, which is also known as the master of the household. So a lot of women say they want to be a wife, but in order for you to be a wife, you have to have a husband. And a lot of women say they want a husband, but you say you want a husband is the same thing as saying I want a master of the house, or I want a head of the household. That's what a husband is. So if you get with a man and he's not being the master of the house, then he's not a husband. He's some other shit. You know what I mean? A simp, whatever the fuck you want to call it. He's some other shit, but you don't have a true husband. The only way you have a true husband is if he's the head of the household or master of the household, because that's what the word husband means. And now it says, verse 24, therefore, as the church is subject to a Mashiach, Yahushua, right? So let the wives be to their own husbands in everything. So it's telling you, it's saying, okay, the church, which is the body, right? Us Israelites, which really is the elect during these times, right? The elect Israelites is going to be saved, Revelations chapter 7, right? So the same way we're in subject to Yahushua, we would never buck up against Yahushua. We would never, you better read the book of Job, man. We wouldn't curse Yahushua. We wouldn't, whatever Yahushua asked of us, we would do. And Yahushua said the same thing. He said, anything you ask of me or of my Father, ye shall have. So that's the relationship that we got. And that's the relationship it's supposed to be between a husband and a wife. But the same way we know that Yahushua is over us and we submit to his will, even if it goes against what our flesh is wanting at the time, that's the way that the wife is supposed to submit to her husband. You're supposed to submit to your husband regardless of what your feelings is on the situation. Your husband say do it this way, you have to do it that way. Why? Because he's the head of the household, and I just explained. When the ship goes down, the captain dies with the ship. You can hop off onto a lifeboat. That's the difference, Kind of just giving you an example, but, and a lot of women leave their man based off their feelings. And I know it's been this whole false doctrine going around that woman is God and this and that. Women play a very important part. Women are very important because of their nurturing spirit, and their loving spirit. And we love our women. That's the next thing to us, other than the Lord. Man was created for the Lord, but woman was created for the man. So the woman is our glory. And that's what's so special about our women is we love them. And they are our glory, our fun, our love, our heart. You know what I mean? And we play that same position to the Lord. So that's why it's giving you that order. You see what I'm saying? But the Lord is going to come to the man of the household. And then that's how he's going to deal with the whole family. So it's up for this man to lead the family the right way. Not the woman to do what Eve did pretty much, which is deceive her husband. You know what I mean? Or make decisions based off her feelings. Because just like Eve, sin came in on the world through the woman, through Eve, so that's why it's better for the woman. Now, if Eve would have submitted to Adam, that would have never happened. If she was in complete order to Adam, that would have never happened. And that's the perfect example. You got to deal with it. and it don't matter about your feelings. And that's how men move. Man, we go off logic, we go off the truth, we don't go off our feelings. And that's why the Lord set man up as the head. But at the same time, the woman feelings is her curse and is her strength at the same time. It just depends on how she use it, because sometimes, that feelings that the women have is good in certain situations. It's good for us. Sometimes I catch myself like I just be too much into it, and I don't know how to have fun when it's time to have fun. But a woman, she could get me to the point where I could relax and actually open up and time to have fun. That's what the woman's good for, and that's a great thing, you know. But let's keep going. And it says, verse 25, husbands, love your wives even as Amashiach also loved the church and gave himself for it. But, at the same time, going back to what she was saying, we have a duty too as husbands. So this is not just on the wife. We breaking it all down. We have a duty, and this is what the woman's saying, but she's kind of going too far off on it. She said, if you can't do this, you can't do that, then I'm not going to respect you. But if you allow that man to take you to be a wife, or if he takes you to be a wife, then you have to respect it. You know what I mean? So let's go. Like it says, husband loves your wives, right? Now let me jump back to the book of, what's that? Exodus. Off the top of the head with it, if I could get to it. Exodus 21. I mean, this proves a lot too. This is Exodus 21. I believe that's verse 10, right? And it says, if he take another wife, so man can't have multiple wives, right? It says, her food, her remnant, and her duty of marriage should not be diminished. So a man do have a duty. He has a duty to get her food, but does that mean he has to get her fucking unlimited amounts of food whenever she want? No. Take her out to eat every weekend. He don't have to do that. He has to get her food so she could survive. Her remnant, does that mean he has to get her Louis V and Gucci and Fendi? No, it don't say that, but he has to provide remnant for her clothing. Right? It says in her duty of marriage, you gotta, it's a lot of different ways, like the whole duty of marriage, well, everything that comes with marriage, just to sum it up, so we not stuck there, but she gotta be a wife. You gotta allow her to be a wife to you and stuff like that. It says, shall he not diminish? So you can't diminish that. Now, in this case, if you get another wife, right, let's just say I got one wife, right, and then I see another wife and I say, okay, well, I want her. And then my first wife, I'm not fucking with her no more. You know what I mean? I'm not even taking care of her. I'm not even being a husband to her. I'm not doing anything. She just out there on an island by herself. You can't do that just because you find another woman and then you heads over heels for this other woman, and then you doing all those things for this other woman, but you're not even taking care of your first wife. So if you get another wife, you still have to have enough income or wealth, whatever, to take care of two women. You have to have enough to be able to take care of this woman, your first one, and your second one, and your third one, and your fourth one, depending on how many you get. You know what I mean? In the kingdom, we gonna have thousands of wives from all different nations too, because that's in the Bible too, Deuteronomy 21. And this is the law that we're reading, But does that mean, okay, I bought this one a Bentley truck, I gotta buy this one a Bentley truck? It don't say that. No, it doesn't mean that. All it means is I got this one a car, I got to get this one a car. You know what I mean? Or just I have to be able to take care of them, for things they need. In today's sense, you kind of need a car, I guess. You know what I mean? But the woman's duty is to submit, and the husband's duty is to be a husband, which means, like we said, master of the household. That's the definition. So you have to actually be that if you want to take a wife. You got to know how to be a master of the household. But even if you do take her to be a wife, it's not like she could just leave you when she wants to and say, well, I don't feel like he's being a good master based off her feelings. No, we go based off the Bible, That's why we're pulling these things out. Because a lot of women try to play that part. Like, they'll try to say, I submit to a man that's worthy to be submitted to. I submit to the man and let him lead if he can lead. No, that's based off your feelings and your opinion, though. Him leading, like we just said, breaking down in Exodus 21, he has to just be able to do those basic needs for you. He ain't got to put you in no goddamn mansion. He ain't got to get you no goddamn Lamborghini truck. He ain't got to be able to do those things for you to submit to him, man. So we got to kind of get on both sides. We being fair here. I'm trying to be fair here. Here, let me see. I want to get straight to the point in First Timothy chapter 2, verse 11. It says, let the woman learn in silence with all subjection. So you got to learn in silence, man. You know, and this is hard for a lot of women, especially our Judite women, which are the so-called Negro black women, or African American women. You know, this is hard because when you're trying to teach them, it's always a fight. You always got to go through hell just to teach them something because they want to give you lip, they want to talk back, you know, they want to, and then it's so hard for them to learn because they're not listening to learn, they're listening to respond. You know what I mean? So it's saying, look, let the woman learn in silence with all subjection. So you got to be quiet, man. You know, we know our Judite woman, and not just our Judite woman, man, because we can't just keep saying it's the Judite woman, man. These other women, these other tribe women, they be wild too. You get a Puerto Rican, Ephraim, they cuss your ass out. You know what I mean? You get Issachar, like a Mexican, yeah, they got wild mouths too. You know, just like the Judite woman. You know, so but it's better to learn in silence so you actually can learn. You know, with all subjection, because a man, we're the head, so we might be telling you to do something, you might not understand it. You might not want to go along with it just because you don't understand it. But when you do it, the outcome, you see the outcome, and then you understand, like, damn, okay, you know what I mean? But you have to know your place. If you think you're over a man and better than a man, then how could a man teach you? You know, verse 12, it says, but I suffer not a woman to teach, nor to assert authority over the man, but to be in silence. So no, you're not supposed to have a congregation set up and you have women in there teaching over man. You know what I mean? She could deal with her and her husband at home. He's the head, but you know, they could give each other Jews back and forth between each other. You know, if she have a question, then she go ask her husband. If her husband can't answer it, then he'll go ask one of the brothers or ask an elder and get the information, and then he'll bring it back to his wife. That's how this order goes, man. Or he'll pray to the Lord. You know, verse 13 says, for Adam was first formed, then Eve. Adam came first, man. You have to just deal with that, you know. I know there's a false doctrine going out there that woman is God and this and that and shit. And then I seen something on Facebook. It was like some Egyptian shit, and it had a queen and it had a king, which is supposed to be a pharaoh, but it said, okay, a king. That's what it said, right? And the king, you know, they said invaders was coming, right? And the king, he didn't know what to do, so he had to go to his wife and kind of ask her, like, okay, what do we do? You know, the invaders are coming. And then his wife, you know, she had all the wisdom and knowledge in the world, and then she kind of broke down what they needed to do, which is wicked as fuck, because he should have went to the Lord, and the Lord would have gave him the understanding of what to do. And how the hell he gonna go to his wife and ask his wife what the fuck what to do when the invaders is coming in his kingdom, and you can't even take your goddamn wife out to a motherfucking fast food restaurant and ask her what she want to eat. She can't even answer that question. But this king, you know, he supposed to go to the queen. She got all the wisdom and knowledge to make a decision on what to do. But you take your wife down, you get in your car, you know, you kind of backing out the garage or whatever, and you ask her what you want to eat, and she and 30 minutes later she still ain't came up with an answer of what she want to eat. You see what I'm saying? So it'd be just some bullshit, man. Now verse 14 kind of breaks it down, like we were saying earlier. It says Adam was not deceived, but the woman being deceived was in transgression. Right, goes back to Adam and Eve. You know, notwithstanding, she shall be saved in childbearing if they continue in faith and charity and holiness and sobriety. So if she continue all these things that we just read, right, then she could be saved during the time of Jacob's trouble, during the time of all hell breaking loose, a time like never before that's about to come upon the earth. A man doing the work, his household, his woman, his wife, she could be saved for childbearing. And a lot of women are going to be saved for childbearing, you know, because we're going to have to rebuild in the kingdom. And how are we going to rebuild in the kingdom? How are we going to be fruitful and multiply in the kingdom? We're going to have sex with women. You know, that's how we're going to rebuild in the kingdom. We're going to have a lot of sex. And it's not, in the kingdom of heaven, it's not going to be one man, the elect man, you know, takes one wife. That's not how it's going to be in the kingdom of heaven. You're going to have man. The Lord said we're going to be a nation of priests and kings. So we're going to be kings in the kingdom, right? So what do kings have? Kings have a lot of wives and concubines. Just like, for example, King Solomon. So in the kingdom of heaven, when the Lord makes us kings, guess what? We're going to have a lot of wives. And guess what we're going to do with them? We're gonna have a lot of sex, and guess what's gonna happen? A lot of babies gonna be born, and we're gonna need it because majority of our people gonna be wiped out. But the woman could be saved just for childbearing, just so the Lord could give over these women to us in the kingdom so we could pop them and rebuild our kingdom. This is Isaiah 4:1. And in that day, 7 women should take hold of one man, saying, we will eat our own bread and wear our own apparel. Only let us be called by thy name to take away our reproach. So 7 women should take hold of one man. What do you think they're going to do with him? How do they take away their reproach? What does the word reproach goes into? It goes into disgrace. So how are these women, why are these 7 women taking hold of this one man to take away their disgrace? Because they're going to be wives to him. And what is he going to do to take away that disgrace? He's going to give them babies. You know, a woman back in the ancient days, a woman that didn't have a husband or a woman that didn't have children, it'd kind of be a disgrace, you know, and that's why you had the whole thing with Sarah. You know, she couldn't have children, and that's all that she really wanted, and she was praying, and then eventually the Lord allowed her to have Isaac, and that was a blessing, a great blessing on her, because they didn't think it was going to happen because she was like 90 something years old. She was super old, so it's like, man, she ain't gonna have no kids, pretty much breaking it down, but she did, and that was the blessing. That was a miracle, you know. So that took away her reproach, but she already had a husband though, you know, which was, you know, so at the same time, you know, it's just breaking it down that man gonna have multiple wives, and you know, for that to work, because it's not gonna work if you have your wives not being submissive. The only way that could work is if all the wives are submissive and they understand the bigger picture, you know. So let's let a little bit of this play.
Not play with you. I cannot try it. So I.
Welcome again.
I'm Christiana Hurt. I'm the owner.
Okay, what is that?
Wealthy kid, wealthy college.
E-commerce. Do you build stores for people? What do you do? What else? The Boss Palace.
Serving Captain and Coke, back a little bigger at the time, and he said if I loved him. And I had 1 month free, so moved out April 6th.
It's kind of going through her background.
Doing what?
Selling other people's rent. The rent was like $3. Don't recommend ever. Don't. It's like I was gonna. And the fishing pole pen turned into $10,000-$15,000. The baby. My first experience was getting like. Unfortunately, so I started out with just kidding around kids.
Let me see what she told
down
me.
in milk. But do you actually know the price of milk right now?
No.
Look how tired I am. Like that's how my mom was. We dip into it and go.
You're gonna keep dipping, and
That's him.
You're gonna keep going lower and lower and lower.
But those types of guys don't even approach me. They don't even.
Anyway, to just kind of go into her background, you know, Jake be bugged out. You see he got the Edomite right there. It looked like what, Greek, Roman, or whatever. Edomite right there. It's just a whole bunch of bullshit, you know, of that. But we broke it down with that. I'm gonna say salvation to the elect. Shalom.